Good morning, everyone. First of all, just want to say thank you to all of you for taking time out of your day to join me. I'm really excited about our presentation today. We're going to talk about preset appointment program we got available here at IAMS. Really great way to get in front of a lot of clients in the federal and the teacher and city and county workers. So really great. Going to have a great presentation for you today. Hope uh, we can spark some interest, maybe give you guys a new solution as far as getting in front of clients. So first, I'm just going to go through a couple intro slides here. For those of you who don't know me, I do apologize for a little hoarse voice today. Allergy season in Nebraska for sure. Um, so I'm just going to go through a few intro slides though, but my name is Laura Johnson, been with IAMS for probably 15 years altogether. Um, work on the sales side here on the annuity team. So anytime you need anything, feel free to reach out to me. First, I'm going to talk about is some of the incentives we got here at IAMS. So if you're new to IAMS or maybe considering joining IAMS, this is a really great opportunity for you. Well, we called our new producer bonus, but as you can see on the screen, that we've got 5 different tiers of ways that you can earn. Put money back in your pocket is what we want to do off those first pieces of business you write. So, anywhere from paying for seminars to paying for radio, cash, marketing reimbursement, preset appointments, as you can see, there's a lot of really great options here. Um, so if you're curious on how 180 days to qualify, if you're curious where you sit or if you've qualified, give your marketer at IAMS a call. They can get that answered for you. After you get cash out your new producer bonus, we do move you into a marketing reimbursement program. So with this marketing reimbursement program, for every 100,000 of indexed annuity premium you write, we'll put $100 in the account for marketing for you. For every 100,000 of single premium life, we'll put $200 in that marketing account, and for every 10,000 of life target premium would also equivalent to $200. So just a really great way to partner with you on those marketing expenses. It is a reimbursement program, so as you pay for marketing expenses, you send that receipt in, and it's a reimbursement. The way we do is we reimburse for half the cost. So if you spend $1,000, we'll send you 5. Reason we do it that way, we think it's important for the agent to have some skin in the game as well. It's just the way we've built that program. So just again, really great way though to get help with some marketing. We also have a referred producer program. So if you've been in the business, you know referrals are important in your business. They are equally as important in ours. So our best clients come from referrals from our agents. So when your referee gets contracted, that's $50. And then as you can see on the screen, there's just a little bit of a kickback you get on all the business that they do right here at IAMS. Those checks are paid out quarterly. So, once a quarter, you just randomly get a check in the mail, and to some agents, it's quite the surprise. So it can really add up to a lot of dollars in your pocket for referring someone, and without having to take on the responsibility of having downline agents and potential chargebacks, things like that. It's in our name, insurance agency marketing service, and service is our number one goal. I tell it every time, it starts with picking up the phone. If you call IAMS, you know that every time you call, you do get a live person. That will never change, I can assure you of that. You're never going to have to listen to an automated phone system or talk. We don't even do voicemail. We take that message and email it over to who you're needing to get to. So we think that's really important. If you ask our top producers why they do business with us, that's one of the first things you'll hear is that we pick up the phone. And we want to be your back office support, and that's not just by doing case design and getting you the forms you need, but we feel it's really important to take off your plate what we can, and that includes following up on all your business. That includes scrubbing your applications the same day we receive them, and then following up on it until they're paid. They've worked their way through the system and have been paid out. Commissions, we say submission to commission support, and even after you get paid your commission, need help getting a withdrawal process, you can send those through our office. We put them in our system. The ladies in the new business team follow up to make sure they get moving through the pipeline at the home office at the right speed. And then we're on paperless contracting as well. So many should be aware of SurancePay, really easy, slick program for contracting where you don't have to do new paperwork every single time you want to add a new carrier. Industry-wide, we've seen a big uptick in e-applications. COVID, thank you for this. It's actually been a blessing For those of you who are not on Firelight for annuity applications, I encourage you to consider it. As you can see on the screen, pretty much all the carriers are on Firelight. You know, if you're like me and hate remembering passwords to 20 different websites, this is perfect for you, because through IAMS website, you can have one single sign-on and do an application with any of the carriers on the screen for annuities. And that's through our Firelight system. What I will say is we're seeing a big uptick in Firelight applications, which is a great thing, because typically it's been our experience that applications move through the process at the home office 2 to 3 days quicker through suitability if you complete any application. There's a lot more. There's no one has to sit there and manually enter everything in. Firelight integrates with all the CRM, so it automatically just puts it in the Athene or Silac or whoever system. It's just a really slick process. So if you are not on Firelight, I'd urge you to give it a shot. It's really not too bad. It won't let you submit the application until everything's complete, and it's a really slick process. So if you have questions, feel free to give Amber a call. She heads up our new business team, kind of heads up the Firelight. So if you have any questions, give her a call. I'm happy to answer questions as well. If you haven't worked with our creative department, you're missing out. Jacob and his team do a great job for our agents and advisors. I mean, from you're wanting a website built. Maybe you need a new logo, or you're new to the business and just don't have a logo or a business card. Maybe you want to do a newsletter out to all your Medicare clients about life and annuities, or what other services you offer. Or maybe you're looking to do a social media campaign or direct marketing. We have all of that available here in-house. So if there's a project that you'd like our creative team to help you out with, just reach out to your marketer at IAMS, kind of give them an idea, tell them what you're looking to do, so that they can get you matched up with the correct person over on the creative team. I always tell people that their services aren't free, but there's no cost if you're doing your business at IAMS. If you're writing consistent business here at IAMS, those marketing dollars are going to pay for it yourself. You won't have to worry about the cost. If you haven't been out to our website, it's www.iamsinc.com. You can see it there on the screen. A lot of great resources for you on the website, everywhere from quoting tools. You have access to Annuity Rate Watch. Like I said, e-apps are on there for both Firelight, iGo e-app, and Connect for Medicare. So regardless if you're doing life, annuity, or Medicare, again, single sign on to our website. You can do those applications. You can get forms out there, current rates. And then one of my favorite spots is under the support tab. It's the sales resource library. In there is just a whole library of materials for you all in the field. I mean, from fact finders to financial calculators to client presentations. You get that client that says, what's an indexed annuity? Well, they have a 10-page white paper out there with everything you need to know about an indexed annuity, from what is a cap, what is a participation rate. Just, again, great materials. So I'd urge you to go out there. If you're not registered, go out, check there. You can check out our webinar schedule. We've got a new section on the website called On the Move. So weekly we post what rates are changing and when they're changing. So again, a lot of great resources for you there. If you aren't aware, we do have IAMS Wealth Management. This, back, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago when the DOL was looming over our heads, Stephen Charles said it was time. And so Charles Jr. Heads up our wealth management team. They just recently relocated to their own office, which we're really excited for the growth they're having. So if you're 65 registered, your CFP, looking to maybe just transition from maybe the BD world to just doing the fee-based stuff, or maybe you're new to the industry, you got your insurance license, now you're ready to get your security license, I'd encourage you to talk to Duncan and Charles and their team. I always use the example, if you go into a household and your client has $500,000, based on suitability guidelines, we could probably put about 300 of that into an annuity, okay? So if you don't do anything with that other 200,000, you're just leaving the opportunity there for potentially someone else to come in and potentially steal the client from you, take over that client. So we think it's really important not only to offer the capability for agents to register with us, but also to have a client portion as well. So if you maybe are toward the end of your career and you're not wanting to get your securities license, know that you do have a home for those clients. We do have a Client portion, Zach in our office handles that. And you can refer the client over to him. He will manage the client for you on the investment side. You handle the annuity side. You know that client is safe here at IAMS and it will not be stolen. We have a lot of agents who, while they're studying for their exams, will send clients over to Zach. He'll manage those clients. Once that advisor or agent does pass and get his license, we will transfer those clients right over to you. So just a really great way for whether you're looking to go this direction, maybe you're phasing out and have clients that need help, know that you've got a home here at IAMS. So if you are interested in either the client portion or the agent portion of wealth management, if you want to answer yes to that question, all that's going to do is generate a phone call from probably Duncan in my office later today, first thing tomorrow, just seeing what questions he gave answered for you as far as what services they have available. So if you guys can answer that question real quick, we'll get moving on. All righty. I promise my portion's almost done. We'll get to the good stuff. One of the last things I want to talk about, life and annuity academies. I think these are a tremendous opportunity for agents. We just were up at Athene's home office actually last week, had 35 advisors up there with us. And it's a great opportunity for those. It's not annuities 101. It's not life 101. It's for those agents who are active with IAMS, writing life and annuity, who really want to take their business to the next level. They need new marketing ideas, wanting to hear from some of the top producers with IAMS. They come out and share their exact marketing program. Here's the exact seminar I'm using. Here's the exact system I'm using to get in front of more clients. They're there to help you grow too. It's a great thing about IAMS. We're a family business. And nothing else, you're rubbing elbows with 30, 40 other agents who are in the field doing the grind just like you are every day. So we think it's really good. And it's not, like I said, basic topics. We're going to get into, wealth transfer, tax savings, estate planning stuff. We're going to talk about marketing systems. We're going to try and help you leave that academy with a new plan on how you're going to do things and how we can help you do it better. So if you are interested in attending one of our next ones, we have not announced the dates yet. Probably going to be early fall, maybe late August, early September would be my guess. I'm not sure if we're going to do it here in Omaha or if we'll partner with Athene or one of the home offices again in Des Moines. If you are interested, just answer yes. We'll get you out. We'll get you on the list for interested parties for when we do announce the next date. And again, I don't know if I mentioned, but it is all expense paid too. So we're paying for your flights, your meals, and your hotel. No cost to the agent. We're really doing this to invest in you and hopefully see your business take off to the next level. All right, last thing I'm going to mention before we hand it over to Rob is we love trips here at IAMS, and we are just reaching the end of the qualification for our Greenbrier getaway. The trip's actually going to be taking place later this year in October. We're going to be taking out, I think we've got probably 50 to 60 qualified already and several more on the cusp. We've got a couple more days left before qualification ends. It was $4 million, and as you can see, a couple different tiers of length of the trip and stuff, but we love trips. So after June 30th, we're working on the final destination for our next trip. We run an 18-month qualification for that $4 million. So be watching the emails from IAMS as we'll be announcing the next trip soon. But again, we think it's a really great opportunity to get you and a spouse, you and a guest away for some adult time, all expenses covered by IAMS. And we always pick a great destination with lots of activities, lots of things that you can do. We do have another trip we just announced, and I don't have a slide, but we are partnering with Athene this year for a trip as well. $3 million of Athene production written through IAMS from January to December. We'll get you and a guest out to Park City, Utah next April, I want to say it is. So $3 million of Athene production through IAMS. You and a guest will be out in Park City next year. So 2 trips going right now. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Rob. So Rob's with a third party that we work with, lead vendor that we generate well, it's not leads, they're appointments. Rob will correct me if I don't do that. Appointments, and in a lot of different areas. We're going to be talking about the federal space. We're going to be talking about teachers, county workers. So Rob, I'm going to hand it over to you. I do have a few slides up on the screen. I know your internet was kind of going in and out, but
Bouncing around. Yep.
we'll start with just talking about the leads and kind of
Yep.
how we generate them.
You mean the appointments, but okay.
I mean the appointments. It's Lisa's
Thank
fault.
you, Laura.
The slide says leads.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, thank you for taking the time with us. I know your time's valuable, so I'll cut to chase right away a little bit about the appointment system. One thing I do want to say that's cool is, with IAMS is they do offer a lot of that support. And, half the year's over. A lot of you guys and gals had set some expectations on where you wanted to be, this year and doing better. And so you got half the year left to get there if you're not there yet. I always talk to thousands of agents and, I'm like, hey, if you've been in this business for 30 years and you're still working because you have to work, you're probably not doing something right. I don't mean it in a mean way, but, you got to do something to change something. And one nice thing about IAMS is they have a lot of this infrastructure. And I think we all, I have this saying to everybody, it's like stay in your lane. You're experts at talking about insurance and annuities and meeting with clients and dealing with that. You're not experts in the marketing market. IAMS is, you're not an expert at building websites. IAMS is, you're not an expert at creating appointments. We are. A lot of agents spend 2/3 of their day trying to figure out, hey, how am I going to market myself? How am I going to get in front of somebody? Hey, is my website ready? This, that, the other thing. And then 1/3 of the day, maybe kneecap to kneecap with a client. Well, if Laura and her team over at IAMS, through all the systems they have, whether it's our appointment setting system, they have other lead systems that are available as well if you don't like our system, that Laura can fill you in about, which isn't going to happen on this call. But I mean, after this call, there might be something else you're interested in doing, and it might not be our appointment setting thing. Get a hold of their team. But what I was going to say is if they can take all that noise, as I call it, and get it out of your lane and take care of it for you and put you in front of clients that other 2/3 of the day when you're not in front of a client, what's going to happen to your business? You're going to make your goal because your business is going to 2.5 to 3 time increase. If you were making 200 grand last year, you're going to make 600 grand this year. So the opportunity's there to make the change. I used to do a ton of consulting in the business industry at one time. And it's something I always see problems with businesses is they kind of get out of their lane and you lose that focus on what's really important. So, take advantage of some of this. I'll get into the appointment setting thing and really what we are, who we are for those of you that have been in the industry for a while. And I always laugh at Laura and Lisa and the team over there because they accidentally slip out the word leads. The biggest 4 things that are different about our system is number one, we are not a lead company. We create, sell, deliver, confirm one appointment one time to a single agent. So it's not resold. You don't have any of the problems with, you buy 100 leads and I can tell you what the national averages are, but the first 60 people don't pick up the phone. The next 30 are like, take me off the list for the 50th time, not realizing the list has been sold 50 times and you got a shot at the last 10 of them. Well, the problem with the last 10 of them is, in most cases, and this is point number 2 that we do, we never give away anything for free. We don't give away gift cards, money, iPads, trips, or anything else to create an appointment. So you don't have to waste your time on figuring out, hey, how do I do a pivot with this client that wants me to set up their iPad to sell them insurance? You don't have to worry about that. We don't work that way. That's number 2. Number 3, and this is one of the biggest things, when we do engage a client, we are usually talking about pension retirement reviews, and that's what we really get them interested in. And if and when the client is interested, if they're not, they go by the wayside. But if they're interested, we engage a little bit more about, hey, Sally, would you like to know when you can retire? Would you like to know what options are available for income when you retire? Would you like to know how many more years you possibly have to work? Well, that client is like, yeah, I do want to meet with a representative. We're like, great, we'll set you up with an expert in that area who's in your state. But here's that third point that's different is the client actually goes in and sets the appointment for the date and the time they want to meet. Our system grabs that appointment and then it sorts it between any agents in that area. And then it's delivered to your calendar, and we'll talk about that in a second. The fourth thing and biggest thing that I think is huge, if you come on board with IAMS, you have no obligation. There's no contract on our side for the appointments. There's no minimums. There's no maximums. There's no sign-ups fees, no registration fees. That's all being taken care of from IAMS. And then IAMS has also negotiated a super low price per appointment. And I don't know if you want to talk about it now, Laura, or you want to mention it later, but
Well, we've got a slide on that, a couple slides forward.
okay. Yeah, perfect. But anyway, so that is the biggest things about what makes us different. Laura, next thing you want me to jump into where we create the appointments? Is that kind of the direction you want me to go?
Yeah, let's talk about what kind
Market?
of appointments you are, what markets you're in primarily, or where we're seeing
Absolutely.
a lot of luck in.
Yep, absolutely. So as Laura kind of mentioned, and she kind of just went over it just generally, but, we do different markets. You can opt into some of them, all of them, whatever you want. One of them doesn't really matter, but one of them is the K through 12 market. The K through 12 market, what it is think about, schools and high schools. You're going to meet with teachers, people that work and are employed by the school district, basically. The other cool thing about all our appointments, every appointment we create, the person is employed, has a job, and they have income. So that's huge. Next market would be the colleges and universities. In the college and universities in the K through 12 market, you can be very, very specific. If you're in Denver, Colorado, and you go, I want to run Cherry Creek Unified School District, great. If you're in, Florida and you go, hey, I want to run the University of Florida or Florida State University, you can be that specific in those areas. The next areas is going to be city, county, municipalities. So think about firemen, policemen, that type of stuff, right? And we'll go back to Denver as an example. If you want to run the city of Denver, you can run just the city of Denver. Want to run the city of Littleton, you can run the city of Littleton. You want to run Arapahoe County, which would be, think about like Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office compared to the Littleton Police Department. Arapahoe County, Littleton sits inside Arapahoe County. You would get, the Arapahoe County, the county people, not the city people. So you can be very open on that. One of the brightest spots, and probably why many of you are on the call, is the federal market. We did a push out with IAMS. I think it's been, how long ago has it been, Laura? Two years?
Probably 2 years.
About 2 years, I think now. And by the way, we've been with IAMS for about 5, I think, probably 5. Is that right,
Yeah,
Laura?
4 or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And but anyway, in the federal market, what was cool is IAMS had some clients or agents, as I call you guys clients, that were interested in the VA hospitals. So the cool thing is we own VA data across the country. We do business in every state in the country. Right now where we're creating federal appointments, 99.5% of our data is all the VA hospitals across the country. Again, here, you can go into our system once you get through the registration process, and you can sign in for a specific VA hospital, or you could turn around and say, hey, I want the whole state of Florida, and go there. One nice thing about what's going on with our appointments now, Laura brought up the COVID thing. One of the, I don't know if there's anything good about COVID, but it kind of pushed the insurance industry about 7 years down the road. A lot of stuff going on virtual now, and all of our appointments that are created is virtual. We have a large group of people. Laura has one of her agents that she's had for a while. The lady's probably opted into, I don't even know how many states, probably
Probably 12
15
states,
states.
12,
Is
15
it 12?
states. And they're
Yeah.
training
Okay.
agents in several other states as well. So,
Yeah. So, there's a lot of opportunity here. I know I've got a bunch of clients down in Florida that are originally from Pennsylvania. They haven't been back to Pennsylvania probably in 12 or 15 years, but they're running both states. So Great opportunity. The other thing is too, and Laura can help you with this. It's not really part of this conversation, but hey, if you want to use our appointment setting system to help build your business and create a big downline below you, it is the perfect tool. When you reach out to a prospective agent that you want to help train and recruit, could be an awesome tool for that. So where are
And with
we on
that,
slides,
and,
Laura? Or
yep. So I'm
sorry,
gonna
go
just
ahead.
jump in just for a minute. And this is one thing I tell my agents when we're working in this is, let's just say you're in the VA hospitals, and this program is really built for someone who can pivot a conversation because, like I tell all my agents, you could be talking to the single mom who works at the front desk who has no life insurance and kids at home and needs a term life insurance maybe. You could be talking to the nurse who just started her career and has 40 years till retirement, and an IUL or one of those cash building life insurance might be the perfect fit for her. You could be a lot of what we're running into. I know my group out in California, well, they work in a lot of states, but I'd say every seven is a doctor or a physician's assistant or someone who's making some pretty good money who's nearing retirement. So you're going to see a wide spectrum of what you can offer these clients. And the agent has got to be able to pivot. You got to be able to take the conversation. They're there to get a picture, snapshot of what retirement's going to look like. So number one, you have to be educated in going into be able to fulfill what they need, but then being able to pivot that conversation. The agents who are well diverse in life and annuities, we're seeing a lot of great success from. So that is one thing I want to mention. And then, people get nervous about the virtual thing. We do have some different things here that IAMS has put together, some tools that we've put together as far as how to do virtual appointments more efficiently and some different things like that. So we have some of those resources available for you too. But to the agents who have been starting to do these back when the pandemic started, love them now. They were nervous about virtual initially, but now they get to sit at home all day or in their office all day and take 10 appointments. The agency I'm working with out in California is in LA. You may only have 2 appointments in a day because you got 2 hour drive between each place. Here
Yeah, absolutely.
they're running 10 appointments a day. The first call is usually pretty short. We will get into that a little bit more about how the appointments go, but you know, um, they end up really liking them. So
Yeah,
let's
it's a
see.
big opportunity too, like you said, because um, you can spread your wings a little bit more. You can process your business a little bit more. The other thing that's really cool about it, you guys, is you can do business from anywhere. So it does give you a little bit more freedom on that side of it. You want to leave for a few weeks, fine. But the one nice thing about it is you could be sitting on a beach somewhere if you wanted to and take calls. So where are we with slides next, Laura?
Yeah, so let's just talk a little bit about the calendar. I mean, and how, you
Okay,
mentioned, you
perfect.
talked about how a client gets an email, they click on it and say, yeah, I want to book an appointment. I, so the calendar pops up in their thing and they pick the time and date they want to do. On the screen, I've got a snapshot of kind of what the calendar looks like.
Okay. So, in the next step, and here's what's cool, you guys go through the registration process and what that looks like. You're going to end up having a calendar created for you just like this. Um, what's nice about the calendar, a few things. You're blocking out time where you do not want appointments. We don't have a fight in the game. If you go, I golf every Friday, good for you. Block out the calendar. The system runs from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. It defaults to that. You can independently, opt in for Saturday and Sunday appointments if you want. But the big thing is it doesn't really matter. One thing I do want to say really quick is you don't want to take 10 appointments a day right out of the hole. We'll talk about that in a minute. But there's a couple really nice things about it. I mean, if you've been in this industry for a while, and I've asked tens of thousands of agents this question, whether they've been in it for 5 years or 25 years, how are your vacations? Do they seem like they're a little bit short? And they're always like, yeah. And every single one of them kind of gives me the same scenario. Hey, I leave on a Friday, and I'm going to be back not that Sunday, but the following Sunday. Well, they say, I get settled in at the hotel, and I'm out laying by the pool, having my drink with my umbrella in it. And by about Wednesday, all of a sudden, my mind starts going, guy, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, fly Sunday, Monday, man, I have to have, stuff on my calendar. And what am I, they start worrying about their business. The nice thing here with our system, you go in, you block out you block your calendar out for that week that you're on vacation. Our system stops creating and delivering appointments for you, at least for that week. And Wednesday, the system will look and go, oh, we're seeing more availability on their calendar for next week. Our system will automatically start up and creating appointments. So while you're sitting there with your umbrella and your drink, all of a sudden your cell phone, if you register using your cell phone, our system sends a text message every time that's created. It would say, hey, Laura, please check your calendar and your email. So we deliver the appointment to the calendar. We also deliver a copy of that appointment via email to the agent. And so you're sitting in the lawn chair and all of a sudden, ding, 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 oh man, I've got 3 appointments on Monday and 2 on Tuesday and 1 on Wednesday. You can actually relax. This gives you a little bit more control of your business. Your business, being in the insurance business, is all about activity. And if you don't have it, you aren't going to make anything. And so a lot of you have gone through, and you'll laugh when I say this, but it's the home run, strikeout, right? I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm rich, I'm poor. You got to have the consistency of clients flowing in. And so this is just one tool that can help you, pipeline that business in just to keep your calendar full. So calendar is kind of a neat deal. It does sync with Google Calendar. So if you're an agent, you're currently using Google Calendar, yes, it will sync with it. If you're using Outlook, some of the agents have gone in, this doesn't always work, but it usually does. They'll go start a Google Calendar or create one. They'll sync their Outlook calendar with their Google Calendar, and then their Google Calendar with our calendar system, and they all 3 talk back and forth. So that's something that can be done. But again, the nice thing, like I said, is you just block out any time where where you're going to be gone, or maybe you're meeting with another client, or you hit the $4 million mark and you're going to the IAMS convention thing that they're flying you out for. You block it out in your calendar and you're good to go. So, Laura, I don't know, do you have something there that I missed? Or you just missed
Sorry,
it?
I muted. I was muted. If you do have questions, make sure you're typing them in. I see some people have raised hands, so just type those questions in the questions box so we can answer it. As you can see on the screen, you can vote. You get quite a few appointments in a day, and as you can kind of see on the screenshot that's up there, when a client books an appointment, they have the capability to type in some notes. So sometimes it's, hey, call me at this number instead of that one, or hey, this is really what I need to know. And you can, when you just hover over an appointment, this is what kind of pops up so you can see it. Um, when we're talking about the calendar, I mean, we usually urge you to have not just pick one county and one call or one VA hospital. Your calendar's not gonna fill up with that. Well, it could, but depending on where. But I encourage you to have 3 or 4. Typically, even some of my agents have 7, 12 different districts that they're tied into. Because it's not like the system is not like, hey, I only want 5 appointments. That doesn't work. It goes completely off your calendar. So if your calendar is wide open, I had an agent in Georgia who did this and ended up with like 30 appointments in a week, and then didn't take appointments for a while because he had some catch up to do. So, and the team over with Rob's office can help as far as, ratio of how much to keep it open. When we're onboarding you, we'll kind of walk you through those steps and encourage you. But it is a great system. And you can get a lot of appointments this way. So with that,
Yeah.
someone did ask a question. Let's talk about the age of our average person. Are they age related for federal employees? I mentioned they're not. This could be anyone who works in a VA hospital. Like I mentioned earlier, it could be someone who's right out of college, starting their nursing and older. But Rob, what would you say the average client is?
So that's a great question. I know we've tracked it in the K through 12 market because that's where we started out our business. I know less than 7% of the people are, in the K through 12 market are under the age of 40. And I think the other thing is too, there's a little bit of missed opportunity here. I'll tell you guys 2 stories. It's like, long story short, like I have a niece. She was going to go to medical school, ended up being a teacher. My brother-in-law is worth about $50 million. The agent that went in to see my niece apparently didn't ask the right questions. Well, there's a huge missed opportunity right there. The just having access. And I asked her, I go, well, what happened? And she goes, oh, he didn't really ask me any questions. Well, my, at the time, 24-year-old niece had a house that she paid cash for was, this is 4 or 5 years ago, was 500,000 or 600,000, and she had another 500 sitting in the bank. Now it's an unusual situation, right? Because she got the money from her parents, but it's still available to you. And so I think a lot of times agents go, hey, I just want old people. It's like there's so many opportunities. The average age of a K through 12 appointment is about 47 that's created. Usually the VA hospitals and the colleges are going to be a little bit older, but there's two opportunities you're missing. And I'm going to tell you a quick short story. I had a group, it's 10,000 licensed agents. They were at a convention in Las Vegas, and I'm standing on stage, and I asked the question, hey, what are the biggest challenges? Everybody's hand go up, finding a new client, right? And I jump off the stage, I put my hand out, and I go, hi, I'm Robin. And the guy goes, oh, I'm Patrick, and I go, well, I now know Patrick. That was easy. But how do I get Patrick to push his money across the table at me? That's the hard part, right? So meeting somebody isn't hard. It's how do you get them to push their finances across the table? And I would say to everybody on this phone call, every one of you have something in your cell phone. You all have a contact of someone in your cell phone that you do something with monthly. You could text anytime if you wanted to. Maybe you go golfing with them. You get together as a family, you go to dinner, friends, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But you've never gotten them to pass their finances across the table, and that's the hard part. The nice thing is when we set up these appointments, we don't ask them about, hey, you want a Starbucks card? We're like, hey, would you like to have your pension and retirement reviewed? And the big opportunity there is twofold. Number one is most of these people, 92% of the people that participate in any type of pension have no clue what they're going to retire with. That's number one. But number two is it's never been reviewed, and that's the huge part. My wife is in the insurance business. She's not working as much anymore, but when she first got into it, she made about 250 or 300,000 in her first 8 months of just working the K through 12 market. And I was surprised how many clients she stole from like securities license advisors and this and that. What she did, she showed them the pension shortfall. But her one question to them was, hey, did your financial planner ever review your pension? Well, I would ask you all in this area, some of you all have a teacher, a professor, a policeman, a fireman, and somebody that works for one of these city county places, and I'd ask you the same question. Have you ever reviewed their pension? Well, I'm going to tell you when I asked that to the 10,000 people, hey, do you all have somebody that's in that type of a market? There were 10,000 hands in the air, and I said, keep your hand up if you've ever reviewed their pension. There were 5 hands in the air. So the opportunity is huge because I've heard every second opinion pitch out there, and there's some of them that are just okay, but it's pretty hard to work your way out of that. It's pretty easy when you say, hey, Sally, did your financial advisor not go over this yet? No, why? Well, can you retire with, 38,000 less than you think you're going to have a year? Well, no. Well, let me show you how it's calculated. Guy, I can't believe your advisor didn't go over this. Well, I'm throwing this other advisor under the bus. I've already thrown him under 3 times just in that little spiel I gave you. And at the end of my pitch, it's going to be, and this was my wife's, is hey, Sally, I'm a little concerned about your pension here and your retirement. It's kind of good news, bad news. The good news is you got a little over half your expectation taken care of. The bad news is you're 38,000 short. What did your financial advisor put in place to cover the 38 grand? Well, it's nothing because they never reviewed it. Well, what do you have in place to cover it? Nothing, well, that's your opportunity, right? Because from there, she's always like, hey, number one, well, where else do you have any money? So, oh, well, my dad passed away and he left me 250 grand and it's over here and blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's reappropriate some of that. So there is a big opportunity on that side. But to answer that question fully, the college market's going to be a little bit older. and then the VA hospitals are going to be typically a little bit older, but it's like Laura said, hey, you could run into a new nurse that just started out that's 24 years old. So, you know, there's that side of it too. One thing I missed too, Laura, we do have data in some of the city, county, state-owned hospitals too. I forgot about that part. It's kind of a small market, but we do have data there.
Perfect. All right. Well, let's jump in to talk a little bit about the pricing and how that works.
Do you want to tell them, or do you want me
I
to tell them?
will. Well, the screen's telling them, but it is $64 an appointment. So we do waive all the intro. Well, IAMS picks it up to set up an
Right.
introduction. There is no contract, like he said. Um, and I mean, we as far as training goes, we do have a couple opportunities. If you're looking to get in the federal spot, we do have an agency based out of California who are experts in the federal market. They do, if agents are looking to work with them, they have a full training system. It would require a Friday morning or Friday Zoom call for training, but they'll teach you their whole system. They've got a person they work with who draws up their federal benefit plans, like a worksheet. They train you on everything you need to know. They'll do joint work with you to help you get going. So we do have some training available in the federal space. If you're looking for more training on the K through 12 and stuff, some of that is going to have to be self-taught a little bit. I know if you partner with LSW or National Life Group, they do have some good training available for you as well. And if you do a certain amount of, a lot of the 403B, LSW, National Life Group, same company, two weird names. Um, if you, they are in most, they're for the K through 12 market, they're in a lot of the school districts. So if people do want to move their money out of a 403B and have it in safety in an annuity instead of being at risk, LSW is the spot for that. If you do, I think 5 cases with them, they will actually give you access to the track software, which will be what you utilize to do the pensions. Otherwise, it's as easy as going to Google. It's a simple calculation. I don't know by heart, but sometimes years of service, some factor, depending on state and district. So you can easily find it online as well, but that track software is very easy and does a lot of the back end work for you. As far as Rob, you want to touch on no shows and how we handle those?
Yeah, absolutely. So no shows are an inherent part of the business, of course. And unfortunately, we do bill on them. However, you guys are getting VIP pricing and some of that. What we do, because you're associated with IAMS, is once you come on the system, we do work with you for that. I call it the honeymoon period, the first week and a half. Hey, if you have a no-show right out of the hole, we'll take care of it. We'll just remove it from your calendar. You're not billed. One thing on our billing too, we don't pre-bill you anything. So the nice thing about this, the startup cost to you is zero. We actually bill for the appointment on the day of the appointment. If Laura had an appointment on her calendar, and we deliver it today for, let's say, next Thursday, Laura wouldn't be billed for that appointment until next Thursday. We do all the confirmations and we confirm a couple times. Now, prior to that appointment, the client may go in and reschedule or cancel. If the client cancels it, of course, it's taken off your calendar and you wouldn't be billed. If they reschedule and it happens to fall back on your calendar because you're available, that appointment would come off your calendar. You get a cancellation notice, but then you'd get another notice that said, hey, the appointment was delivered. Let's just say it was a week later. It would deliver that appointment a week later. You wouldn't be billed on it until the actual day of the appointment. So on that side, one thing we've done on the no-shows to make it a little less problematic or hurtful, I should say, is as we go through the process of us creating appointments, we have inside the system, we confirm that appointment within 15 minutes of when it's first made. Now, we do sometimes have people cancel, and then we do other confirmation along the lines prior to the appointment, and we have people cancel. Well, we reach back out to those people to try and reschedule them. Well, there's many times where we can't reschedule them, and so we have somebody that's spent between, say, 9 and 12 minutes creating an appointment to get in the system. and they've never moved forward with it. Well, if as you go along, the honeymoon period's over. If you have a no show, there's a button you can click back there, and it's just the no show button. What happens when you click it is, yes, you're still billed, unfortunately. However, the system goes in and it looks for, and it'll grab up to 3 of those quote unquote referrals, or leads now, as I call them, that had created an appointment but haven't rescheduled yet. There's a lot of agents that have some really, really, really good success on those appointments. As far as getting them rescheduled, they'll reach out to somebody and go, hey, Sally, I see you had originally scheduled an appointment, and haven't had time to set up another one. I'm the representative that can assist you in discovering what your retirement shortfall or retirement income gap is. How would you like this coming Thursday or Friday at either 3 or 4? And, so some agents have a lot of luck with that, Laura. I don't know if you have any pitch on that side of it at all.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, yeah, I've got agents who have had actually success with those as well. And I reiterate what he said. The system looks for if there is any available. It's not guaranteed we're going to be able to get you those, but a lot of my agents get them anyway. As soon as they do a no show or that next day, they'll get an email with them. But they are having good luck. It's handling it a little different because it's not a preset time and date. It's something that you're going to have to call a little bit on. But one thing I'll say on that though is, I mean, you look at some of these big actual lead companies that you're paying $250, $300 for a quote unquote qualified annuity appointment. Well, you're getting a name, a number, their net worth, like just few minor details, right? And you got to go cold call this person to get them on the phone, to get them to an appointment. That's the nice thing about this program is there a preset appointments on your calendar. Yes, we're going to have some no-shows, but at least you're paying $64, not 300. It's really, I think that's a good thing to point out. There was something else I was going to mention. We do have a question getting typed in here. Let's see. Why do we pay for no shows, and is there a maximum amount? I mean, like any program you go through, you go to Financialize, you go to, those aren't appointments, those are leads, I guess. But I mean, I, Rob, do you have a good, there isn't, that's just kind of how any preset appointment works. I mean, we work with 4 or 5 other companies similar to this group, and all of them bill for no shows from what I've seen. Do you have any other insight on that, Rob? Did you mute yourself, Rob?
Sorry, I didn't mute you guys. Sorry. It is just part of the business, on that side of it for sure,
Yeah, and
Um,
there's no maximum amount. I mean, you are going to get billed for your no shows all the time. I mean, that's just how it goes. Like Rob said, we work with you the first couple appointments. You shoot me an email, we can get it removed from your calendar, through that honeymoon stage. The other thing I would say on this program is, like any program, you got to give it some time. Okay. I had one guy down in Florida. He only wanted to try it for a week, and he said he hated it. Okay. Well, he's back in the program now and loving it, by the way. But you got to give it some time. You can't judge it on just 10 appointments. Okay. Because after 10
right.
appointments, these aren't just one and done closes. A lot of my agents working in this program, the first one, we aren't even talking business. We're not talking your pension. I want to get to know
Yeah.
you, learn about you, and then I'm going to tell you what I need you to bring to the second appointment so that we can actually do the pension review. So,
Right.
so my guys are getting to know them the first time. We go into and then giving them a list of what. Okay, I need you to bring all your statements. I need you to bring your pay stub. These are the things I need to bring to the next appointment so we can do the calculation. And then when they come in the next appointment with all that stuff, we're going to do the pension review. Hopefully they brought all those statements. We're going to do a fact finder at that time and uncover what we can uncover. And then we're booking
Yeah.
a third appointment to put the plan, okay, now, sir, client, whatever. I'm going to take this information. I'm going to put together a plan. And how about Tuesday next week, same time? We'll get together and I'll show you what I've put together for you and, get you your financial or your pension review, whatever. So these aren't just one appointment closes. So giving it a week 10 appointments. I mean, I'd say on average, for someone who's well versed in the industry, probably going to write business out. mm, Two of them, I'd say, out of 10 would be good. I've got agents
Yeah.
though that close 5 or 6 out of 10. Just
Yeah,
depends
I was
on.
going to say it's kind of funny, and I was going to reiterate kind of on that. I have agents ask me that. It's usually, and I don't mean this in a mean way to anybody, but when you have that mindset, hey, what's the close rate? The close rate's whatever you make it. We've had clients on our system for 10 years that are closing at 70% year after year after year after year. I know what our averages are because I track some agents. We really don't track your sales, but for a while I did. And our system typically runs from about 42 to, about 54%, 56%, somewhere in that area on close ratio. But I can tell you right now, same thing Lisa just said. I mean, Laura's just said, I apologize, Laura. Lisa and I were talking about this the other day, there's agents out there that are going to close at 20%. There's agents out there that are going to close at 50%. So where are you? And what I would say to you exactly this, whatever you're closing with whatever other products you're using, you're going to close at the same rate. So if you're a closer, you're a closer, right? And if you're not, you need to change the way you're doing it to make yourself a closer, right? Because that's the difference. That's what makes the difference between somebody earning 200,000 in the insurance business and 2 million in the insurance business, right? Because they're out there.
Most definitely. And I think that, I mean, we've covered a lot of the points here, but a couple things I want to also point out, as far as you can see on the screen, we've got a lot of the digital tools available for you. We've got a video conferencing best practice, doing business virtually, white paper. We just put out a best practices for first appointments, how to handle the first appointment. We've got recorded webinars on how to handle the first and second appointments. So, I mean, we've got a lot of resources out you to help you get to where you want to be. I just urge you not to jump in if you don't do your education first. I want you to be well versed, because if you go in and you don't know what you're talking about, aren't fully aware on how to make these calculations and stuff, I mean, they're looking to you as the expert. So you've really got to be ready to go on that front. But like I said, we've got resources if you're looking to do it in the federal market. We've got an agency that will be happy to help you out. They, work with you on joint work. They'll do all the training, everything like that for you. So we do have the tools available for you as
Absolutely.
well.
One other thing I want to say too is, hey, I know we were talking about some of these agents that are 10 appointments a day. The one thing you don't want to do, for those of you out there, and I know some of you go, I've heard the pitch, I was paying, I gave these guys $5,000 up front and they were going to get me appointments, and they got me 3 appointments over the last 4 months, so I'm going to leave my calendar wide open. 99% of the time you leave your calendar wide open and we'll put 8 appointments on there a day, which is too many to start out with. So be wary of that a little bit. I mean, we create and sell, many days, well over 1,000 appointments a day across the country, to give you guys an idea inside our platform. So we want to make sure that you're protected. You got the helping hand of IAMS to hold your hand, and just start out slow and steady. If you're not getting enough, we can open your calendar up and get you more of them. That's not a big issue on that side at all. So don't worry about that part of it. But slow and steady. But like I said, hey, it's almost July 1st, and for those of you that haven't, have some goals set up, and you should be halfway there. And if you're not halfway there, here's an opportunity to make a little bit of a change. You can reach out to Lauren or team. She has all the registration sign up information to get you guys your VIP pricing, get your monthly access fees waived, your sign up registration fees waived, and her team can help you out. And those guys are really good. One other comment I do want to say to you all, and proof's in the pudding because I call these guys continually. I'm talking to Laura or Lisa or somebody over at IAMS probably a few times a week, but every time I call, that phone is picked up within 1 or 2 rings, and it's a live person, which is killer. So just to give you, Laura, kudos on what you said.
Appreciate that.
That's
Well,
the actual truth right there.
So one thing I'm going to say is if you are interested in the program, just go ahead and answer yes to this. I'll get you out the information following the webinar. You will all get an email from Dustin in my office later today, first thing tomorrow, and it'll include a copy of the recording of today's webinar. It'll include information as far as how to get going. Now you do have to be licensed with IAMS, so if you're not licensed, we need to get the licensing done. We get you up and running with IAMS, that business, to continue to get the discounted price and the stuff waived. It does have to flow through our office, that business. So get that info. We'll get that stuff out to you, and then again, just give me a call with any questions. I talk, like Rob said, we talk multiple times a week. I have his cell phone number. I can email him if I need help with something. Blake on his team will also help with if you have trouble getting your calendar set up and things like that. So we really want to be here to support you in it. And the biggest challenge agents tell me all the time is getting in front of people, and this is a great solution for that. So be looking for the email from Dustin. Always keep an eye on that lovely junk or spam folder because sometimes the emails end up there, but we will get that out to you later today or first thing tomorrow. And really appreciate everyone taking time out of their day to join us today. And Rob, appreciate you being
Absolutely.
on this call with us as well.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great day, everyone.